Peace and love, children of the sun. The results are in and they're big mad. I prepared this video months ago. I'm just now dropping it. I want to wait until after the election. Because anytime they think that you're supporting Trump, they're striking your page or banning it or removing it. I mean, just go ask Steve will do it. Just go ask the Nelk Boys and Aiden Ross and go ask Andrew Tate. Anybody who they think is a Trumper. And I'm not a Trumper. I didn't even vote, okay? I don't even agree with both parties with what's going on, but I am conservative in my beliefs. And I believe that you radical liberals went too far by changing the school curriculum and having drag queen shows and having books that have all this zest in it. And also, you guys had Kamala Day at the elementary. Since when do you bring politics into the schools? Like y'all just took it too far, okay? But I did not vote, okay? So don't call me a Trumper. I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Now, we're going to discuss some things. People think Kamala lost because she brung out Cardi and Megan and Beyonce, but the reason she lost is you sat up there and gave the migrants $649 million. Okay, you budgeted another 380 for next year, and you had already gave them 240 million dollars. You guys gave Ukraine 116 billion. You gave Israel 10 billion. Okay, you gave Afghanistan 1.7 billion. Okay. Then you gave Lebanon 156 million. You were just handing out dollars, okay? The migrants got to stay in 156 hotels for free in New York, plus got 56 million. We ain't gonna count on Chicago, okay? Then you guys gave them zero money down. New home owners, plans, mortgages out in California. And you said they could get unemployment in California. Then you said these people can be cops. Then you had them voting illegally all around the United States, okay? The gig is up. Mass deportation for them, okay? I don't have a problem with the Mexicans and the El Salvadors who've been here or the people who've been here, okay? There's been 30 million people that have come into this country illegal. We're talking about the recent one. China basically runs America, okay? Not only do they own all this land, but they're sneaking in illegally with thousands of gift cards with directions where to go. Y'all talking about a cyber attack, but yet y'all let their president or whatever leader go to San Francisco with no problem. Come on, man. These people got marijuana farms growing weed illegally, and they're illegal migrants, okay? We're doing 15-minute cities like them, got 5G towers like them, did the vax when the shit came from Wuhan. Fentanyl came from Wuhan. Okay, it's almost like we're using them to take out our own people, okay? But then you want to tell us, oh, it's a cyber attack, be scared of them. You're working with them.
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time.
These people so slow, they don't know about Agenda 2030. They're not seeing Mr. Charles Schwab get on here talking about the World Economic Forum and how you'll be broke and you'll be happy. They're sitting here telling you guys that you're going to be microchipped, you're going to have a Neuralink, and you're not going to have no freedom. You're going to be logged into the Matrix. They're bringing communism, okay? That's what he means by you won't have to vote in 4 years. Then they try to paint him as a racist. These are all pictures before he was president. This man used to give out loans to all type of black business owners, okay? They say, oh, well, he didn't want black folks living in the Trump, only coming there to visit and rent rooms. I don't know about all that. You know what I'm saying? But I know that man has been partying with the blacks. He's been supporting the black. Look at him on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, it wasn't until he went against these people, but they don't want to bring up how Biden said, oh, well, I don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle.
New York City and this whole region
is
doing unbelievably well. I'm building a job on the west side, which is the largest job ever approved by the New York City Planning Commission. You see it going up along the West Side Highway. It's almost 10 million square feet. It's 18 buildings, and it's really going to be something. I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks. So
I didn't vote at all. I only voted once in my life. That was for Obama, and that was a waste of time. Now, let me tell you something.
The dead
Don't
homies,
shoot
they
the
tried to air
messenger.
me out. The enemy goes tried to pop out. I called the homies, and they for sure finna slide on a set. The lil homie infant Trump just tapped in. He said it's up on a dead homies. We tripping. And that's on Crip Street. On a dead homie.
So there's some buzz circulating around the internet that the Trump assassination was an inside job, and they're saying this video proves it. Look at this.
Probably 20 million people.
Now this guy right here is a Secret Service agent, I imagine. He looks the part. He is coming over, and it looks like he's getting out of where a shot's about to come from. And he tells these people, hey, you might move over this way.
And you know, that's a little bit old.
And he's staying kind of crouched down, like he's expecting a shot to happen.
Take a look what happened.
Oh, then a shot happens, and he didn't run to protect the president. He stayed ducked down. And I thought he's supposed to run and protect the president. But this guy is crouched down right there. It's like he knew it was coming.
They're shooting. They're shooting over there. Over there. Over there.
When you're ready, on you. Move.
You're okay. Everybody, calm down. You're okay. You're okay.
He's gonna get shot.
You're okay.
I'm gonna go.
Get down.
Let's go. Get my shoes.
Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck. Watch this shit, dude. Watch.
Remember, a female FBI agent
really
went
see
to a
something that
building
said,
frequently
take a look at what
that
happened.
the shooter was seen coming in and out of a lot. Okay? That's why there were no phone records
Well,
of
when
whoever
I
he had
really
been
see
dealing with.
something that
Then
said,
his
take a
parents
look what
called the
happened.
police station, worried, saying his behavior was strange, right? Now, he's not even a professional shooter. He's just a scapegoat.
Well,
You can obviously see he was quite
You know,
slow. But
take a look
it's
what
just
happened.
strange that they would use such a rookie to try to take out Trump, right? And then look at how he was registered. It was like he was registered as a Republican. Why would a Republican take out Trump? If I'm correct, I think he was registered as a Republican. There's just too much weird situations around this shooting out
Take
of.
a look what
Nobody was
happened.
scared. I got 2 video clips I need to add on here because I want to keep it under 30 minutes. But they told the cops multiple times that, hey, there's a guy running around here with a gun climbing down the roof. And Secret Service didn't do nothing Okay? And then even when they got on the roof, they allowed them to shoot first before they shot him. Okay? Now, there was two people that were
After
innocent
Secret
that was hit.
Service
Now, they're
Barbie,
saying
a
that this
highly
woman is
trained
from
member of the
Saturday Night
Secret
Live
Service,
and that she
removes her
was
weapon from its
Pat.
holster for
They're
the
saying
very
that this is
first
Pat
time
from
in
Saturday
her
Night Live and
career.
she's a paid actor.
She
They
struggles to
actually
return
brung
her
up the
pea
old
shooter, as though
videos.
it's her
Google
first day on the
Pat
job.
when I get off of this. She didn't even know how to put the gun in the
Fortuitously,
holster.
her
You know what I mean?
skills
How
from
are
a
you Secret
previous
Service and you don't
life
know how
as
to
an amateur
put
actress
your gun away?
come into
This is
play,
crazy, man.
allowing her to convincingly mimic the swift draw of the weapon and scan the horizon for threats. Chewing her gum nonchalantly, she attempts to exude a tactical demeanor, reminiscent of a...
Here's a video of the shooter a few days before or whatever at the school screaming at staff members. He was out of his mind. He had gone mad. And his mom and parents warned about him. It gets deep because the company BlackRock had the boy in the commercial and they deleted it. They're saying that that company has some type of stock where if Trump died, the stock goes up. Then also, they bought lithium reserves in North Carolina, and that's why the HARP technology sent Hurricane Helene that way and destroyed most of North Carolina, allegedly.
Situation just got even more insane. You see, it was initially reported that the local police knew about the threat just minutes before the attack. But now sources say that law enforcement spotted Thomas Crooks on a roof 26 minutes before he opened fire at Trump. Authorities also took pictures of him on 2 separate occasions because they thought he looked suspicious. But it should be noted that on both occasions he didn't have a gun, so he was categorized as suspicious but not a threat. They say that Thomas got down off of the roof and they momentarily lost sight of him. But when he returned, however, he had a rifle. Police were alerted by the public, and one officer even tried to climb onto the roof, but as soon as he peered his head over, Thomas turned around, pointed the gun at him, and he jumped down. We're also now finding out that there was even a local police counter-sniper team stationed inside the building where Thomas was on the roof. He was literally climbing on top of them. And although snipers on the other roof had a clear view of Thomas, they didn't take the shot until after he opened fire. Why, you may ask? Well, we don't know. No one in the public really does yet. And even if it was something like they weren't able to confirm that he was a reasonable enough danger to take lethal action, it doesn't really explain why they wouldn't have taken far less drastic measures like just taking Trump off stage. Thomas was able to get so close to Trump that he was the same distance the US Army recruits must hit a human-sized silhouette to qualify in basic training. And the questions don't stop there. Despite the FBI in the last 48 hours breaking into Thomas's phone, searching his computer, scouring his search history and bedroom, and interviewing over 100 people, including his friends and family, they still haven't found any evidence to suggest a concrete motive. The information they do have is either contradictory or just plain confusing. He was a registered Republican, but donated to the Democrats. People who knew him say he was relentlessly bullied. He passed a background check at his work and raised no concerns. And people at school described him as a little bit of a loner, but nothing out of the ordinary. He was always nice and he was well liked by his teachers. And on top of that, the FBI haven't found any indication of him researching how to make homemade explosives. So it's currently unclear as to how Thomas assembled the explosive devices found in his car. A massive investigation is currently underway into so many of these questions. So of course, when this starts to make any sense, I'll keep you guys updated.
I want to take a moment to address some of the hateful shit you've been talking about me. Fuck you. You're all a bunch. End of quote. Repeat the line. So enjoy President Cackles or President Booty Juice. I really don't give 2 fucks anymore. Biden out.
Yo, this attempt at Trump's life is getting interesting. 1 billion asset manager shorts Trump stock day before assassination attempt. It says here that Austin Private Wealth, a financial planning company based in Texas, bought options on as many as 12 million shares as a short as in Donald Trump's company. Obviously, that price would drop if he would have died. Pause and read. See all the names of the top funders of this company. Not only that, research who this company donates its money to. It's no surprise its top shareholder is BlackRock, just like at Fox, just like at CNN. But you can't make this up. The shooter was in BlackRock commercials.
Prosecutor, yo, man, Trump, the government can put a phone number in a text message in somebody's phone. Trump just mad at her because she tried her best to put him in jail, bruh. Trump got all the power. That's the government, y'all. But I ain't even on that. That lady ain't did nothing. She ain't got time for that. Yeah, she don't like him. I do. He a felon. She the one made him a felon, so I like her and I like him. But here we go. Y'all finna argue in the comments thinking we talking about politics. We not talking about politics. I'm talking about a man that's finna go to jail. Well, was finna go to jail.
Actions, what specific actions do you plan to take to administer reparations for this unpaid labor?
Right. So I'm actually supporting a bill. There's a congresswoman by the name of Sheila Jackson Lee that has written this bill out of the House, which I am supporting, to study exactly what should be the response to your question. But to your point, and to just support your point, look, we had centuries of slavery in this country. We had decades of Jim Crow. We had legalized discrimination and segregation. And then we had de facto discrimination and segregation. And to believe or suggest that those years of treatment and abuse and violence and crimes did not have an impact is to overlook the facts of history. And for that reason, I support the legislation and what we need to do to think about specifically what it means in terms of the next steps. But I thank you for that question.
Senator, yes or no, do you support financial reparations?
I support that we study that. We should study it.
Stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent.
She don't see us? You see me? Yeah.
I stand before you as the first candidate for Vice President of the United States of South Asian descent.
She don't see us? You see me? Yeah.
Why is your and United States at the current moment support for Israel so strong?
Look, Israel, if there weren't an Israel, every Jew in the world would be at risk. Every Jew in the world would be at risk. And so there's a need for it to be strong and a need for Israel to be able to have, after World War II, the ability for Jews to have a place that was their own. But you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. And the Zionist is about whether or not Israel is a safe haven for Jews because of their history of how they've been persecuted.
Are you a Zionist?
Yes. Now, you'll be able to make a lot out of it because people don't know what a Zionist is. Do you know what a Zionist is?
I just ask questions, I don't answer. Why?
They gave $10 billion to Israel, and Israel threatened if they don't give them more money, they're going to snitch about 9/11 and the Mossad's involvement. Okay? Then to make it even worse, out of the $240 million they gave the migrants, Israel received most of that. And out of the $380 million that was going to be the budget for 2025 to go toward the migrants, they were going to receive most of that also. And the HIS, okay? So Israel's been the main benefactor, okay? Now, you know, Obama gave them $11 million when he was in office. And they still been balling off the $800 million that they got from Russia as far as the reparations after Germany lost the war. Okay, so that's how they're able to be the most paid, and they have the most influence in politics because guess what? They make the biggest donations.
I am pleased to announce for the first time here at AIPAC that I'm introducing a Senate resolution that condemns targeting of Jews as well as any form of religious bias, racism, misogyny, or other hateful acts. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. Which is why I support the United States' commitment to provide Israel with $38 billion in military assistance over the next decade. It is why I support full funding for Israel, including for the Arrow, David Sling, and the Iron Dome. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. And let's be candid. Many, including those in this hall, have been directly impacted by energy and electric vehicles and reduced population. More of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. We've been funding, is there something to worry about with medicines? That is, might some of them have side effects? Do we need safety testing? And we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein. So, yeah, I think maybe we should have a safety system where we, do trials and test things out.
We invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population.
And by the way, you notice you fly over in the helicopter, those places with good roofs, they didn't burn. It's the right materials. Yeah. So we got to change that. Anyway. We got to cut some trees. We're holding people up.
He was caught in 4K snitching on Maui. If you had a blue roof, your house didn't burn down, and they still made them people stay away for 6-7 months. And now there's a lawsuit for $40-50 million, and they got to pay the residents of Maui. And they're saying, it was an electrical fire. No, it wasn't. Y'all got caught. Even the people of Chile, they're not slow. They started putting blue tarps on top of their roofs because they don't want y'all flying your plane that shoots down the DEWs on these populations and creating fake wildfires. We're on to you. On Netflix, you had the movie White Noise, and it had the train derailment. Then what happened? A train derailment. Then we had Leave the World Behind. After that, we had what? A little blackout. You had all these Teslas recalled. Or a boat wreck. You know what I'm saying? We put it in the movies first. Predictive programming. Simpsons. The creator of that, Matt. High-level degree Mason. Okay? So you better understand they're letting you know their plans beforehand so they can escape the karmic retribution. Right? So we don't even want to talk about how Bill Gates had a plan to turn Tampa into a 15-minute city, or the lithium reserves that's in North Carolina. Okay?
You have also been quite critical of Vice President Biden's policies on race, specifically on the issue of busing in the 1970s, having benefited from busing when you were a young child. Vice President Biden says that your current position on busing, you're opposed to federally mandated busing, that position is the same as his position. Is he right?
That is simply false. And let's be very clear about this. When Vice President Biden was in the United States Senate working with segregationists to oppose busing, which was the vehicle by which we would integrate America's public schools, had I been in the United States Senate at that time, I would have been completely on the other side of the aisle. And let's be clear about this. Had those segregationists their way, I would not be a member of the United States Senate, Cory Booker would not be a member of the United States Senate, and Barack Obama would not have been in a position to...
They not like us. Is that how you speak when you're at a debate? Is that how you speak when you're in front of a convention?
His parents outside with no comment. And you look at the pictures, man, it's very suspect, man. You know what I mean? It's very suspect. Even when this dude, Elon Musk, made the guy take the picture down that showed that there was no injury to the ear. And they had the nerve to be out here giving the people in the crowd these ear patches to wear. You know, this was all predictive programming. Even last year, they were calling him Tupac and saying that he's like Jesus Christ. Then Elon says months ahead of time that they're going to try to assassinate him. And then it happens. Then who jumps up to support him? Elon.
Is the best Biden ever. He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart. He's on his game.
His mental acuity is great.
This is a very sharp president.
And the people that I've talked to, it
say he's as sharp as a tack. He's fired.
They say he's sharp. There's not a problem. He was sharp. He was sharper.
Wait till y'all see part 2. These people raised $81 million for her, which we know most of it was inherited from Biden's campaign, but we never chose her. We never selected her. She didn't win against Biden. Then you guys try to force her upon us. You're not black, you don't vote for her. We even got proof that the earrings she wear are microphones feeding her information.
To have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit. And
imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been. 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 What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Who we can be unburdened by who we have been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What could be unburdened by what had been. What can be unburdened by what has 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 been. Unburdened by what has been, believing in what can be. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Imagine what can. I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right? What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions. Do you know, okay, a bit of a history lesson. Do you know that the women's teams were not allowed to have brackets until 2022? Think about that and talk about progress, better late than never, but progress. But you know what, how we love March Madness, and even just now allowing the women to have brackets and what that does to encourage people to talk more about the women's teams, to watch them. Now they're being covered, and this is the reality. People used to say, women's sports, who's interested? Well, if you can't see it, you won't be. But when you see it, you realize,
Any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
This has been a busy morning already. We are going live to pictures from Washington, D.C. And the latest report is that there have been immigrants by bus dropped off at Vice President Kamala Harris's residence. This is just outside her home. You can see from these pictures dozens, I would say more than 100. I don't know if there are multiple hundreds of people outside on the lawn there, but not a small number of people outside, not the White House, but Vice President Harris's home address. You are looking live in Washington, D.C. This is the latest breaking news, potentially another contention between Governor Greg Abbott of Texas and the northeastern cities that he has deemed a home for those who have crossed illegally into the country.
The nominee of the Republican Party, we will have a President Kamala Harris. That's just a fact. And the party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. There will be a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. There's no way that Donald Trump is going to win this election. You're going to have a female president of the United States. It's either going to be me or it's going to be Kamala Harris. Joe Biden is not going to be the nominee. I would make any bets about that. The party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that's going to win.
Who do you think will be the Democratic nominee?
Well, I've said there's going to be a female president of the United States. It will either be me or it will be Kamala Harris. And if Donald Trump is the nominee, mark my words, we will see a President Kamala Harris.
It doesn't get worse. It doesn't get worse. Look, look at the damage she did as the Attorney General for the state of California. And think about the damage she will do as the President of the United States. Not only she supported sanctuary cities as the Attorney General of California and as United States Senator, let's remember she compared ICE to the KKK. She stood at the White House podium and slandered the men of the Horse Patrol and the Border Patrol, saying they were racist and they were whipping black people when anybody saw the video no, it wasn't true. And another thing I found last night, when she was the Attorney General of the state of California, she filed an amicus brief, a friend of the court brief, to the state of California, helping an illegal alien be admitted to the California bar to practice law. Get this, someone in the country illegally she thought should practice law in the state of California. As the Attorney General from California, it doesn't get worse. This is, if you believe in border security, immigration enforcement, national security because of the open border, this is our worst nightmare, her being a...
Long before she met Doug Emhoff, she dated some prominent men, including in 2001, former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi.
A corrupt witch. She's been corrupt her whole life and she fucked her way to the top. They used to detail this witch in the LA Times with her sexual escapades. She fucked damn near everybody trying to get up. She used to be a frat hoe when she was at Howard. And she ain't black. You know, I ain't got to do with this, Miss Harris. No, I mean, well, don't, but she's I don't know, I'm just listening. Well, here's the thing.
First of all, anybody can see that the economy had failed. All the billionaires dumped their stocks. Back in March, the bank said they're not doing no more new loans. We had entered a Great Depression, total recession. Meanwhile, this woman was giving all these benefits to the illegal migrants. Okay? Talking crazy on The View. You had all of these people from CNN talking crazy because, of course, they back the Democrats. Fox backs the Republicans. So it's back and forth. Media giving us all this false news and this, that, and the third and propaganda. The whole time they knew that Trump won the electoral votes months ago. Long time ago. The stage shooting was just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, there has been no Republicans that won the popular vote since 2004. Okay? This time, he won the popular vote. When he went against Hillary, it was just the electoral vote. And everybody was mad because she won the popular vote, even if she cheated or not, right? Even with the whole eclipse, man, they posted years ago that they were going to stage an eclipse using 2 satellites and casting a shadow on the moon. During this eclipse, what had happened was there was a whole bunch of bridges being struck down. Don't know why. Also, they seen some stuff under the water using sonar radar. Now, all of a sudden, you see that we had these hurricanes. You know what I mean? Months later. So there was something going on with this damn eclipse and don't know what they were trying to do, but they had people fooled talking about, oh, Israel, they're going to sacrifice 2 cows and it's going to be the rapture and how the 2 crosses were going to be formed, an X over all these cities. There's 8 cities with Nineveh in the title. And around that same time, one of these warehouses was destroyed where they created the vax. It was all kind of stuff. People thought that it was the end of the world and this, that, and the third. Whole time ain't nothing happened. You know, the earthquakes that do happen around eclipse, they stage those using HARP technology. You know what I mean? Don't know what they were trying to do or accomplish, but it was all a great big distraction.